Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. Here's your host, Brien Hanley.
Whoa, what's going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B, Brien Hanley. We got news here. I don't want to necessarily say it's breaking news because I've said it many times. I'm not a journalist and I don't even act like I am. Having said all that, the ACC is dead, people. The ACC has officially signed its will, its death wish, the last nail in the coffin, whatever analogy you want to come up with. The ACC has finished. Remember, here's kind of the story behind it. We know that Clemson and Florida State were suing the ACC. Florida State was basically saying they wanted out. Clemson wanted out, but did it in a more subtle way, but just basically asking where the money was being allocated and how they could possibly get out. Florida State just flat out said they just want to explore their options, which means they want it out. Okay. So this legal battle's going on. ESPN, on the other hand, had to pick up the rights. They had until the 1st to pick up the rights, for a 20-year deal that they signed back in 2016 to basically continue showing athletics through the year 2036. They've done that. You might think that that's a good thing, that the Boston colleges of the world and the Syracuse and the Wake Forest of the world, that you might think, okay, well, those schools are saved now, that nothing's going to happen. And you could even throw SMU into that. Although I think SMU, they got enough money, they can navigate their way. But, that those schools all got saved by this deal. That couldn't be further from the truth. Literally could not be further from the truth. Like I mentioned, the ACC, they basically just bent the knee to ESPN. That's what it comes down to. They bent the knee to ESPN, and so ESPN picks up those options. Now, let's kind of break all of this down. What they're doing is they're creating what's called a brand pool. And this brand pool in the algorithm that they're going to create with this thing is going to allow for the bigger brands within the ACC to get more money. That's what's going to happen. How they're trying to do that, who knows? But there is going to be a brand pool that they are going to create so they can pay Clemson, they can pay North Carolina, Miami, and Florida State. Those are the biggest brands in the ACC, to pay them more money. Now, it's to try to get them on par, or to not have there be such a deficit in the Big Ten and the SEC, what those schools get. So to be able to compete, or say dollar for dollar, you have to be able to access this brand pool, which means you have to bring in the majority. For instance, Florida State, their argument was, hey, we're bringing in 15% of the television revenue, but we only get 7% of the payout. Well, now that you can access this brand pool, you can get even more of that. Now, the fact of the matter is that to be able to get it, the more money is coming in, obviously, because of the college football playoff, more money. And for you to be able to get all the way up to where Florida State is talking about, or what the numbers are shaking out, you got to get into the college football players, get access to the brand pool, all of these things, to where your payout, if all the numbers work, would only be a couple of $1 million less than what a Big Ten and an SEC school is getting on an annual basis. Which, okay, you know what? I can dig that if I'm Clemson or I'm Florida State. Yeah, I can dig all of that. I guess the one thing for Florida State is, are they even close to making the college football playoff? I mean, we saw what happened to them last year, where they just didn't invite you, even though you had an undefeated season, and then your program has gone into the tank since then. So while you may think, okay, well, we can access all this money, are you even going to be able to access the money? That's my question, because the program is an absolute shambles at this point. But neither here nor there. That's what the ACC is doing. Now, another problem that's going to come in is going to be other schools that may be like an NC State or a Louisville that's going to say, well, hold on a second. why aren't we getting the same path? Why are they getting more money than us? Like, we didn't sign up for this. We didn't sign up to say that we're going to pay these other schools more money. Why do they deserve it? You know, but it is what it is. The ACC has decided this is the way that we want to do business moving forward, to be able to keep everything in-house and to keep this conference together. Well, I got news for you. The conference isn't going to stay together. Like I said, it's just not. And I'll break down why. First off, both of the schools are going to be required in air quotations to drop the lawsuit. Now, that's not going to say anything on paper because they can't put that on paper, but that's what Clemson or the ACC is going to require of Clemson and Florida State. Look, we do this. You guys got to stop suing us, okay? You can't continue down this path. You know, we're giving you what you want. That's all you wanted from the beginning, right? Was to get paid more money. Well, now we're creating an avenue for you to be able to get paid more money. Now drop the lawsuit. Clemson and Florida State are going to counter, and that's what the sources, of course, there's always sources that are countering and saying, yeah, we'll drop the lawsuit, but guess what? In 2031, they're not actually saying they want to get out, but what they're saying is in 2031, we need you to drop how much it's going to be able to get out of the conference. You know, we'll agree to all of this and we'll agree to stop suing you. But you know that exit fee that you guys are trying to hold us to and are holding us to, yeah, in 2031, we need you to drop that. The ACC is going to agree, because if not, they're going to continue on these lawsuits, and then something is going to end up happening in this offseason. Okay, so they'll continue on. But just so happens in 2031, guess what? The Big Ten and the SEC, their television contracts are going to be up for renegotiation. If you don't believe that Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina, Miami, NC State, Louisville, Virginia Tech, if you don't believe that all those schools are going to be looking to hightail it out of the ACC, you are kidding yourself. They are all going to say, thank you very much for lowering this. We're out of here. We are out of here. Because who knows what the money and all that is going to be by that time. So, yes, the ACC is dead. Now, you could say, well, come on, Big B. You know, that's a couple years down the road. They'll figure some stuff out, lawyers, yada, yada, yada. If they figured out to keep Florida State and Clemson in during this time frame, and we're going to hold them to this grant of rights deal, you know, to not let them out, there is not a chance in hell that the lawyers at those institutions are going to say, we're not agreeing to anything unless you lower this. Now, does the ACC want to stay together, or does it want to just be blown apart right now? You know, which are not going to be blown apart right now. So otherwise, Florida State and Clemson are going to continue to sue them. They don't want to sue, or they don't want to be sued, so they'll back off. They've bent the knee, like I said, to ESPN, and that's exactly what's going to happen. The ACC will be going away. Now, you could say this is clickbait, whatever you want to call it. All I do is follow the money. And money rules the world. Always has, always will. And bottom line is, if all of this is in motion, you bend the knee to ESPN, say, yes, thank you for picking us up through 2036. Great. We appreciate that. ESPN, on the other hand, they want to have more marquee games. Notre Dame's going to be involved a little bit more, playing bigger pools. So then they create this algorithm and a brand pool. So Notre Dame playing Clemson, Notre Dame playing Florida State, bigger games to garner bigger ratings, more money. So yes, here's a brand pool for you guys to be able to pick off of and get more money than the other members. Oh, by the way, you got to drop your lawsuit. Great, we'll drop it. Lower the exit fee at the time these other conferences are renegotiating. Well, why then? Because we say so. Period, end of story. Conference is done in 2031. Or it will be done as a Power 4 conference in 2031. it may stick around. Like I said, Syracuse, your Boston colleges of the world, these places are still going to need somebody. And there's other schools up and along the eastern seaboard that you could add in. But in 2031, as we know it, the ACC will be gone, man. It will be gone. And they did it to themselves. I think they basically had to stick around for a while, but I don't see there being any chance that they stick around longer than 2031. I think it's all over but the shouting, man. Appreciate y'all listening. I know that this is not the normal topic, but the news came out. I felt it was real important to get this out to you guys, man. So we appreciate it. Thank you, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you for watching the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. This has been a Spirit Street production.